Welcome to the stream. I'm Shawn Plays, and today we're unboxing what might be the best way to play not just Sega Genesis games, but also Master System, Game Gear, and even if you have it, My Card games, as well as the Sega Mark III games from Japan. In this box is Analogue Mega SG. It's a Sega Genesis clone unlike any other. So I recently purchased this from Analog, and at the time of streaming this is actually the only console that you can buy from them right now. You go to their website, you won't be able to purchase any of their other items like the Super NT or the NT Mini, or pre-order the Analog Pocket, which is a real shame. These are great consoles. So right now, these are available, as I mentioned, on their website. They're in black, or they're in white, or three variations of black. And the black is all the same, except you have your choice of the power and reset buttons to be in colors that resemble the US, Japan, or Europe consoles, though the European version is currently out of stock. So as we open this up, we come right in. It's a nice box, and we come right into the console, and I have the Japanese color scheme here with the red power button and the blue reset button. In the US, the reset button was, I think it was gray, and in Europe, it's more like black and gray. It's even more monochrome than this US one. Um, so very simple packaging here. Let's see what else we have in here. We have a spacer for the Sega CD. More on that in a bit, although I don't have a Sega CD. We have a little manual, very small manual. Like most modern things, most of the information's really on the internet if you need additional info. They do include an HDMI cable and a power cable, which is just USB. If I can get it out, it's kind of tightly in there. USB power supply. Let's open that up. I'll take a look at it. So like many things today, it's powered over USB, which is great. It makes it easy to wire into your home entertainment center. And finally, I believe this is the Master System adapter. So every Mega SG does include the Master System adapter. So nice little bonus there. You don't need to buy a power-based converter. So the system itself has nice weight to it, but it is also still quite small. If we look at the bottom here, we can see it actually does have an expansion port like the original system. And as you may have guessed or already know if you're watching this video, it comes with this spacer for the Sega CD. The idea is that you can actually connect this to a real Sega CD Mark I or Mark II and play Sega CD games right off the disc with that. I think it'd be great if someone made an FPGA based Sega CD, but currently this is the best you're going to get for an authentic hardware experience on modern hardware with the Sega CD, which really means you're going and hunting down what's hopefully still a working Sega CD if you're trying to play off the authentic discs directly. So the other thing to note here is it's not going to play 32X games as this sits. Unfortunately, you will need to have a 32X and the analog DAC. And if you want to play 32X Sega CD games, of course, you're going to need a Sega CD. So there's really no simplified tower of power here. But my understanding is this is going to play Genesis games better than probably anything else on the market right now short of modified old hardware that's in great shape. So we'll go ahead and get this. Oh, before I connect this, one thing I do want to mention is it doesn't come with controllers. So in order to make up for the lack of controllers, I have already purchased an 8-bit DOE M30 2.4 gigahertz controller. And these are cool because they just use a very small dongle, and it comes pre-paired. And this dongle will actually work on an original Sega Genesis. So I'm going to go ahead and get this plugged into power and get this plugged into the capture card, and we'll actually play some games on it. So the back connections are very simple. It's only the USB for power and and we have the HDMI to play games, or to connect to the video so we can play the games. It does also have an SD slot, so you can upgrade the firmware. There's some other things if you search on the internet that you can find with regards to the firmware and what you can do with that SD card slot. I'll leave those for other people to explore further, because for today, it's all about the games. And let's keep in mind, this system will play Master System, it'll play Genesis, it'll play Game Gear. You have just an amazing selection of 90s video games for this system. So we're going to start off. Oh, better plug in that controller. All right, we'll start there. Gonna has a nice nice feel as you plug that cartridge in. All right. So here's the first time I've ever seen the boot screen for this. I hope this controller just connects right away. All right, so we come into a menu here, and I'm just going right into playing the games. Sega! So, most of us who played the Genesis when it came out probably played through a composite video connection and on a CRT television, or even worse, an RF connection. We were limited to small, low contrast, blurry images, short controller cords. And really what we see here is what modern hardware can bring. Because if you connect that original hardware directly to your HDMI TV, it'll be big. You got your nice 70-inch TV, it's going to be big, but what it's not going to be is a good experience. It's going to be blurry in all the worst ways, and it's just absolutely going to be awful. Now here you can see we have this great crisp image, vibrant colors. We're getting all the benefits of that HDMI connection and my inability to talk and play. And we're getting all of this with no effort. You know, we're not having to mess around with an open source scan converter, mod systems. We're getting all of this goodness right out of the system. Just plug it in and start playing, provided you bought a controller, because as I mentioned, it does not come with one. At nearly $200 plus a fairly significant shipping charge, it would have been nice for them to include a controller. And unfortunately, everything with Analog does go out of stock somewhat regularly, and we don't know when it's going to be restocked, but it's just hard to beat this. This is just, you know, paired with this controller from 8BitDo, this M30, it plays great. This is probably the best game of Sonic 2 I've played since I was in high school. This just responds so much better. And unfortunately, I didn't have a Genesis back then, so I never really got a lot of playtime on these games. Alright. These buttons. Yes, so there's actually a button on the 8BitDo where you can gonna pause this. We can actually bring up the menu here, and we can go to settings, and we can play around with some settings. So I do have, let me grab a different game, because I do have one I didn't grab in my stack that I'd like to show. All right, I may have lied about that. But what I wanted to get to is some of these, some of these games that were put out back then. And I'm not sure if this one does it. So I've got Marsupilami here. So let's. Sega! I don't know if I had to turn this off to unplug to disconnect the cartridge, but I'm going to just to be safe. So some of the Genesis games were well known for using dithering to make more colors essentially out of what limited palette the Genesis really had, and that was done by kind of putting these like patterns into place on the sprites themselves, on the backgrounds, that would when, you know, blurred by your old CRT TV, you would be able to actually have kind of the illusion, at least, of more colors. I'm going to try to find... There's a lot of features here. I'm going to try to find it. Maybe it's in scalars. If I don't find it quickly, I'm going to give up, but maybe it's under color. No. But there's actually a feature in this system that will try to dither the games so that you can kind of have that feeling of the blended colors. There. We don't need to change the stat. I'm going to be a little upset now if I can't find this. We can try scaling. Buffer mode. So this has to do with just adjusting your play experience for some visuals, I believe. Let's try scan lines. No, that's not going to do it. I'm probably not going to find this on my own now. Well, you know what? We're all here to play games anyway. Check one. Oh, we have cheat codes. That's always nice. I'll have to play with that later. Let's run the cartridge. Let's check out a little bit of Marsupilami. Then I've got a few other games we'll play briefly. This looks like that dithering might actually be on now. I did change the scalar. And you can see I'm pretty sure that it's on because we can see it's kind of blurred the image a bit. Let's maybe try. Oh, X-ray does. Oh, well, that's cool. That's not what I want though. Let's just try 2x. I've reset the cartridge, but so we can see it has different effects on this with that scaling. Now that it'll be a little less weird. I don't remember what. I'm trying to remember this show from when I was little. That I remember this was like briefly a cartoon show on TV. I don't really know what we're even supposed to do here. Oh, he doesn't like us. Alright, got rid of the zookeeper. Can't read the sign though. I guess Marsupial can't read. So right here, we've got that tent there, so we can go into the settings. Let's see if this is one of those games. We'll switch this back to no scalar. And we have a little bit, if you look at the screen, you can see a little bit in the grass there, especially towards the middle, there right below Marsupial there. That's the type of patterns that game developers would use back with the Genesis to basically add additional colors. So that's where these scalars are kind of cool, because they kind of try to blend these together. To varying effect, and I'm pretty sure that may not be doing this feature set completely the right way, but it's trying to help make things clearer while giving you the experience that you had growing up. Let's see if we can just beat one level on this. This seems really easy. Can I jump in the water? No. Oh, that hurts. That's on fire. How do I get through that? Oh, there we go. Alright, I think that is enough Marsupilami. I have another piece to this. Because we don't just have the Master System. I also bought, as I mentioned, this will play my cars. This will play Mark III. It'll play SG 1000 and Game Gear. So in this box here, we've got the Game Gear adapter along with the Mark III and the My Card. But unfortunately, I don't have any Mark III or SG 1000 games. I also, and that was kind of the Master System in Japan, but there are definitely some differences, because not everything from those systems works on the US Master System, for example. Even though my understanding is, like I said, I believe that is essentially what the Master System was in Japan. But I do have a Game Gear game, and I do have one Master System game. So here, we have a pretty nice box, simple packaging. Get this box apart. But here we have all the adapters. So for now, we're mostly interested. I don't have, like I said, I don't have cards. I don't have anything for the SG 1000 or the Mark III. So we're really just concerned with the Game Gear adapter right now. So just gonna plug that in. Grab my currently only Game Gear game that I own. Go. Hopefully this works. So it's going to be somewhat disappointing if it doesn't work. We're going to try unplugging the cartridge, see what it does. And it doesn't do anything. Looks pretty clean. It's definitely in the right way. And that only fits one way, so good. Don't think I made a mistake there. Try it again. Run the cartridge. Come on. You can do it. I don't know that we're going to get Game Gear tonight. It does not seem to like this cartridge. Which is unfortunate. It means I may have to go and return it. So I did recently buy this one at the... Did recently buy this cartridge at Second and Charles, so hopefully I can get it swapped out. We're going to see what happens, though. Just changing. It doesn't like that a whole lot, but I do have Choplifter. And I have a Master System adapter. And these adapters look really nice. They're clear plastic. You can see the PCBs in there. You can see the solder is well done. And they're just nice looking pieces of equipment. And I think if you have this system, you're going to want these adapters. Like I said, it comes with the Master System adapter. It doesn't. It of course doesn't only comes with the Master System adapter. And why is this not going in? All right, let's try that. See what it does. Oh, right. Goes right into the game. Nice. So here we are. We got Choplifter. I want to make sure that scaling is off. Scaler's off. You can add some scan lines or hybrid scan lines. So there are absolutely an immense number of options on this to customize your playing. There's sound options, video options, cheats, just so many ways. There's just no way I went down in flames. Anyway, we can see that the Master System's working just fine. So now, as I mentioned, though, as I did mention, I still don't feel comfortable just unplugging cartridges. It won't, this system won't do 32x without an actual 32x attached to it. But it's important to keep in mind this is unlike the systems from Retron, unlike the Retron 5, unlike the upcoming Poly Mega, unlike even the Sega Genesis Mini. This system's using FPGA hardware. And so really that means that we're getting this lag-free experience because it's simulating the original hardware. And because it's simulating the original hardware, we should be able to take something like Sonic and Knuckles and play it without any issues. And there's probably no one watching this that can correct me. I think I haven't. It has been years since I messed with this, but I believe. Well, I'm certain this works with 3, but Sonic and Knuckles has this lock-on feature where I believe it puts Knuckles in the other games. And to be honest, because I've never actually gotten to play Sonic and Knuckles like this, I don't actually know. I don't completely know how this works. But again, with the FPGA, what we're getting all the advantages of playing on original hardware. Analogue's been really great about updating and fixing issues if there's any issues found with games. So it's simulating original hardware in these FPGA chips that are very much, very much designed to do that sort of work. They're designed to pretend they're the components from something else. So unlike an emulator where you have a software program that's trying to interpret a game, run it through a CPU that doesn't function, like in this case a Sega Genesis CPU, what you would get instead is, well, then apparently a blank screen with this Sonic and Knuckles, which is really unfortunate. Okay, Sonic and Knuckles might work. We'll check the lock with the lock on it. Yeah, maybe it doesn't work with 3, but you get this experience though that is basically just like playing on the original hardware, except you're getting HDMI. You're getting, I have a wireless controller, which I get the controller you can put on any Genesis, fortunately, but you're getting HDMI, you're getting great sound, you're getting great picture quality, you're getting options to kind of customize your gameplay so it works better on modern television. And any lag that you get is really going to be a function of your TV, not this system. So playing games on things like the Genesis Mini, the NES Classic, things like that, you're always having to deal with that there's a little bit of lag, or the sound isn't quite right, or things aren't timed correctly. You won't have any of that with a system like this. This is just the best way to play an old Genesis game, short of pulling out an old, really nice CRT screen and playing and hooking up the old hardware. And let's be honest, it's harder and harder to maintain that hardware now. I have no idea where I'm supposed to go here. I'm already trapped. Alright. Huh. Oh, that's a bummer. Oh, I can climb. Oh. I had no idea. There we go. Okay. So I can play this game maybe after all. I'm out. Oh! Hit it with a mushroom. Alright. Let's see if we can get that lock-in feature to work. I don't know which games it works with. Let's try the original Sonic. Right to a screen this time. That's a good start. These live demonstrations with hardware I've never touched. This is always great fun. It's also worth noting while this loads again, the system is region free. Not that that was a huge issue on the original Genesis. It was pretty easy on the original Genesis to file down the cartridge slot and make it work anyway. Okay, I'm really disappointed in this lock-on stuff. Maybe I just don't know how it works, but it's not doing what I would have thought. Let's try it with. I'm going to try it with Sonic 2. Sorry about that noise. There's the reset. It was not a very good reset. Oh, wow. This is... Alright, we'll try one more time with Sonic the Hedgehog 1. The lock-on function is confirmed by others to work. That's awesome. I don't know what's going wrong there. I'm going to unplug and replug the whole thing. That's the last try, because I don't know what I'm doing with the lock-on. I've never used this. I remember it always was supposed to be some cool feature where you could bring Knuckles into Sonic 1 or Sonic 2 or something like that. I've never used it. I've never actually owned a copy of Sonic and Knuckles before. I actually bought it specifically for this. And now it's just really not liking this. I'm just breaking everything at this point, I'm sure. Alright, we got the original Sonic. Original Sonic's looking great. So I'll figure out what's going on with that copy of Sonic and Knuckles, and hopefully we can maybe see some gameplay of that in the future. For a lot of people, this might be their first time experiencing these games, and it really does not... You really can't beat this as a way to experience the original games as they work. They just aren't the same on emulators. They aren't the same on many of their ports to, PlayStation, Xbox. They don't have the crispness, the lag-free controls, things like that that they had in their original forms. Because almost all of the these modern ports, they're not like Super Mario Brothers All-Stars, where they've been updated and written for the platform they're on. They're in many cases, even when they're sold in a collection or on their own for another console, they're still frequently just running emulators on that console to make it work. So this is really a nice way to play. It's honestly a very nice system. So really, everyone, I'd like to thank you for watching this unboxing and some brief gameplay with this Analogue Mega SG. My first impressions are very good. I hope to bring some more content soon regarding it. So, if you liked watching this, please slam the like button, subscribe. If you didn't, slam the dislike button. Let me know what you want to see next. This has been Shawn Plays, and everyone, have a good night.